Power has always been a dangerous drug. It twists men into monsters and empires into graves. Across the sands of time, there were rulers whose thirst for dominance turned kingdoms into nightmares. They called themselves chosen by the gods, but their hands dripped with blood. Now, we descend into the darkest thrones of history. These are the 20 most wicked kings that ever ruled the ancient world. 20. Nebuchadnezzar II, the destroyer of Jerusalem. He razed the holy city to the ground, burned temples, and dragged thousands of captives into exile. His pride was so great, ancient texts say the heavens struck him with madness. He roamed the fields like a beast. When sanity returned, he ruled again for a time, then died of illness in his golden palace. A conqueror who ended his life whispering to shadows. 19. Phalaris of Acragas, the tyrant of the bronze bull. He ruled Sicily with terror, inventing one of history's cruelest tortures, a hollow bronze bull where victims were roasted alive. Their screams were said to echo like music to his ears. But justice came full circle. His people rose up, and Phalaris was thrown into his own bull to die by the fire he loved. 18. Xerxes I, the whip of Persia. He burned Athens, crushed revolts, and whipped the sea itself when a storm sank his ships. Tyranny was his religion, and submission his creed. Yet betrayal came not from his enemies, but from within, assassinated in his own chamber by a trusted official. 17. Artaxerxes III, the Purge King. To secure his Persian throne, he murdered his own brothers, nobles, even priests. Blood paved his path to power, and paranoia ruled his heart. But poison crept into his wine, slipped there by his physician, the killer who ended the killer. 16. Wang Mang, the false emperor of China. He promised reform, but brought famine, flood, and rebellion that drowned millions. As mobs stormed his palace, he fought alone with a sword, slicing through the chaos until they cut him down. When they dragged his body through the streets, the man who called himself Son of Heaven was left without a face. 15. Sennacherib, the butcher of Babylon. He razed Babylon to dust and slaughtered its people for defiance. His armies carved terror into stone, boasting of rivers red with blood. But divine vengeance came from his own sons. They struck him down before his own altar. If you've made it this far into the shadows of history, you're one of us. Hit that subscribe and join the journey as we keep uncovering the strange, the dark, and the forgotten corners of the past. Now, let's go deeper. 14. Ramses III, the pharaoh betrayed. He crushed revolts and ruled Egypt with an iron fist until even his wives plotted his end. In the harem's shadows, daggers flashed, his throat slit as he slept. He'd built temples to his power, yet his death mask hides a deep wound no gold could cover. 13. Dionysius I of Syracuse, the mad tyrant of Sicily. He distrusted everyone, killing friends, poets, and kin alike. His dungeons overflowed. His citizens worked as slaves to build his walls. When death came, it wasn't a rebellion. It was time itself. He died of age, unpunished, his name still whispered with hate. 12. Nero, the emperor who burned Rome. He watched the flames devour his city, blaming the Christians and turning their deaths into spectacle. He executed his mother, his wife, and countless rivals. When his own legions turned against him, he fled the city he once ruled and ended his life with a whisper, "What an artist dies in me." 11. Tiberius, the tyrant of Capri. From his seaside fortress, he ruled through spies and executions, delighting in cruelty and fear. No court, no trial, just death orders sealed with his ring. When he finally died, smothered, some say, by his own guards, Rome didn't mourn. It exhaled. 10. Domitian, the emperor of fear. He demanded to be called Lord and God and punished doubt with blood. Senators vanished, nobles were slain, whispers were crimes. At last, his own servants turned their daggers on him, a god brought low by his own creation. 9. Caracalla, the butcher of Alexandria. He painted the Nile red, slaughtering thousands for mocking him. He taxed his people into despair, then murdered his brother to rule alone. One soldier avenged the world, killing him mid-journey, leaving his corpse in the dust he made of others. 8. Herod the Great, king of paranoia. He killed his wife, 3 of his sons, and countless rivals to protect his throne. His cruelty was legend, his legacy soaked in suspicion. At his end, disease ate him alive. The king who killed his bloodline couldn't kill his own decay. 7. Emperor Yang of Sui, the tyrant of the canals. He forced millions to build his grand projects, rivers of sweat, famine, and corpses behind his walls. As rebellion rose, his guards turned on him in the night, strangling the man who once commanded empires. The canals still flow over bones. 6. Qin Shi Huang, the Dragon Emperor. He united China through terror, burying scholars alive and burning books to erase the past. Tens of thousands died building his Great Wall, a monument of blood and stone. Obsessed with immortality, he poisoned himself seeking it, dying as his empire crumbled into revolt. 5. Caligula, the mad god of Rome. He made senators fight as gladiators, declared himself a living deity, and fed victims to beasts for pleasure. His madness drowned Rome in fear, until one day the guards he mocked turned their swords on him, and the god fell silent. 4. Vlad III the Impaler, the Prince of Stakes. He impaled his enemies by the thousands, leaving forests of corpses outside his castle. He drank among the dying, proud of his cruelty. But in the end, he met the same fate, beheaded, his head displayed as a warning to others who ruled by fear. Ashurbanipal, the Flayer King of Assyria. He flayed rebels alive, hung their skins on city walls, and wrote of his own savagery with pride. No one ruled with such deliberate horror. Yet even he couldn't escape mortality. He died in his palace, leaving behind an empire soaked in screams. 2. Timur the Lame, the conqueror of death. He destroyed entire cities, killing millions from India to Persia. He built towers from human skulls to mark his victories. But his last campaign against China was his end. He died of fever on the road, surrounded by cold winds and ghosts of the slaughtered. 1. Genghis Khan, the shadow of the world. No name inspires more fear. He burned civilizations, wiped cities from the map, and turned rivers into blood. He saw mercy as weakness and destruction as destiny. When death came, it was quiet. An illness, a wound, or vengeance lost time. But the echo of his cruelty still rides the wind, 8 centuries later. Empires rise, empires fall, but the wickedness of kings endures in memory. For power built on fear never truly dies. History doesn't forget monsters, it only buries them beneath their own crowns.